On the space station traveling at approximately 7 kilometers per second, 2 astronauts were welding a panel when it suddenly flew off. One astronaut hurriedly grabbed onto a protruding barb on a weld seam, which tore through his spacesuit. As the pressure continued to drop, they made an emergency return to the cabin. Then something unexpected happened. At the cabin entrance, astronaut Jack stood motionless, staring at a luminous mist. Soon, the mist evolved into an angel. This was the famous Salyut 7 angel sighting incident, and a heart-stopping space rescue mission was about to unfold. After returning to Earth, Jack was forced to stop flying due to his previous violations. Meanwhile, the Salyut 7 space station was being bombarded by countless cosmic dust particles. Ground control quickly received an alert and discovered that all the station's equipment had completely malfunctioned and lost control. If this 20-ton behemoth were to crash, it would be a catastrophic disaster for humanity. This was during the height of the US-Soviet space race, with NASA keeping a watchful eye on Salyut 7. Faced with this situation, the Soviet Union would rather destroy the space station than let it fall into enemy hands. After careful deliberation, they decided to send a crew to repair the station. However, challenges came one after another. After reaching space, the spacecraft would need to manually dock with the station, but no astronaut had succeeded in the simulation cabin. The commander knew this plan was nearly impossible, but he had someone in mind who might be up to the task. The next day at a gas station, the commander informed Jack of the urgent situation, hoping he would agree to undertake this mission. Jack, who deeply loved the aerospace industry, readily agreed. At the launch site, Jack and mechanic David set off together. The rocket ignited successfully, lighting up the night sky. The escape tower separated, the fairing jettisoned, and the main booster detached. The spacecraft smoothly entered its designated orbit. After some searching, Jack and David located the space station and began the docking procedure. However, they only had enough fuel for 3 attempts. Looking at the rotating space station, Jack carefully adjusted the spacecraft's attitude. Just as they were getting closer, a violent impact. The first docking attempt failed. The commander notified them that the spacecraft was about to enter a radio blackout zone and ordered them to cease operations and stand by. But the determined Jack, supported by David's calculations, prepared to try again. Under the pretext of a drill, he began maneuvering, rapidly approaching the space station. David shouted anxiously, "Stop!" At the critical moment, another loud bang. The spacecraft successfully docked with the station and quickly locked in place. They opened the hatch and were stunned by what they saw. The place was like a giant freezer with extremely low temperatures. Ground control, concerned for their safety after learning of the situation, immediately issued orders giving them only 5 days to repair the space station. With time running short, the two immediately set to work. They repaired the heater and adjusted the attitude to ensure the solar panels faced the sun. Soon, the heater began working, and the frost started to slowly melt. When they returned to the space station again, the scene before them was like something out of a dream.